All right, so due to DMC's request, I am here to discuss the story of the beautiful call girl in Key West 20, no, what did we say? 18, I actually think I did the math again in 17 years, whatever it was. Um, so, again, details may be fuzzy, right? Um, so, as I said in the last video, the Shore Patrol, when we walked down Duval Street, like think of like a T, right? And when you got to the T, you were walking up, I guess, the base, right? And now the T crosses. So the Shore Patrol, as I recall, it was telling us to not go right, make a right hand turn. Now I don't know east, west, north, south, doesn't matter, but just don't go right. We all went left. Okay. Now at 6:30 a.m. Liberty call, when your Liberty boats pulling in, maybe 7 in the morning, like you're thinking two things. You're thinking, where do I go to eat? And some stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. Most sailors are thinking, where can I get an adult beverage? So, anyhow, we uh, we go and we actually found a place that had breakfast and mimosas. It was great, and so that was to the left. So we went to the left on the team. Now we went down there, and you kind of did restaurants, and then kind of waited for things to open up. You hit little shops, and then I don't recall like a museum. I'm sure they're there. Some folks wanted to go to that, southernmost point in the United States, and there are folks that they're into that. Hey, I put my foot here, and I'm like that. I have a whole bunch of stuff about all the oceans I've been in and what have you. And so anyhow, that's where they went. I actually really enjoy if you're going to be on foot in a relatively small, isolated. One moment, I have to put my cat up here. She's clawing everything. There, maybe just not claw me right now. So, anyhow, actually, is much better. So, uh, I actually just like walking back in the neighborhoods. Like, pick a random road, walk down it, make a right. Maybe I can go toward some dead end. That's this neighborhood where people have lived for who knows how long. Um, I always found like a lot of peace in a walk like that. That's just me. I certainly wouldn't begrudge somebody wanting to see this landmark or that landmark. Uh, so anyhow, our hotel, as I recall it, was on, I'll call it the backside of the island, but that is all based on the orientation of how we walked off the boat on that T, like I told you about. To me, this is the front of. Let me get it good. This is the front. Jeez. This is the front. It hits the T. So that's the front of the island to me, as far as the actual orientation. I don't recall. But on the backside was where our hotel was. Me and a couple buddies, we decided to have uh, a room for the evening. So we ended up back there. We were actually really low key guys. Like we go out, yeah, we hit a couple bars, have a few drinks or whatever, and then retire for a good night's sleep because you don't get that very often on the boat. Um, so I can't remember if it was that night or the day after. Anyhow, so what happens is we end up on the backside of the island, and what happens next is if you kind of follow the neighborhoods around, what you're doing is you're taking that T, you're going out around and ending up on the other side of where they told you not to go, coming back, but from the other side. It just happens back around that. If you run that low end round, you end up finding the Hemingway house. And so, once we found out we were near the Hemingway house, we're like, oh, we all got to go. We all got to go. And me and a couple buddies, we walked up, and sure enough, it was closed. I can't remember if it was Sunday or something like that. What the circumstance was. Probably wasn't Sunday. Oh, crap. So, what is any 22-year-old sailor going to do if the primary attraction is closed? They're going to find a place to have a beverage. So, and we did. We went to a bar that Hemingway was storied to have frequented. So we went there, and we actually ran into a couple people from the boat, and it's like, oh, hey, how you doing, and this and that. And of course, that's always an interesting situation as people start to imbibe, not only socially, but like it's a thing. It's the focus. It just becomes its own. That's another sea story for another time. Or it's not even a sea story. It's just like a background info, I guess, about the vices of being a sailor. So anyhow, we we meet up at this bar, and we have a few drinks, and they were not for the weak of heart. You have to remember, it's only like 3, maybe at the latest 3 p.m., right? So you still got like 5, 6 hours of sunlight. So we come walking out because it's time to hop. That's what we did. We're all walking. It's driving. It's nothing to be concerned about. And so now, essentially, what we're doing is the shore patrol said, "Okay, don't go this way." Okay, so we went that way and around. Okay, and now we're coming back. When they told us don't go this way, we are coming back from this side. Okay. And what you start to see are a bunch of rainbow flags. Okay. Do remember, it still mattered then. It was still a big deal then. It just wasn't, it's not in the forefront of a 22-year-old sailor's mind that that's what a rainbow flag means outside of the bar. You're just thinking, that's pretty cool. Like, neat. And it seems like they've got everybody on the street to fly their rainbow flags. And that's great for commerce, right? So, um, so we start walking down the road. I'll never forget it. We're on one side of the road. You call it like the near side. And on the far side of the road, there's like an old theater that's probably transformed into some sort of like bar / club. And it had one of those old marquees, right? And on this side it would tell you 2 of the movies it's playing, and on this side it would tell you 2 of the movies that it's playing. It's a weak yep, there's a cat. A weak triangle and lights and such. And all it said was welcome crew members of the USS Harry S. Truman. Seems welcoming. Big rainbow flag. Big. Girl standing out front. Tall. Now I'm a tall man. I'm about 6'3", 6'4" if I stand up straight. So what ends up happening is she's waving us towards the bar that says "Welcome to the sailors of my ship." And I'm like, man, I was like, that girl is amazing. Like, she has extremely long legs. She's probably well over 6 foot. Wearing like shorts that come down about a third length down her thighs. Very athletic build, just lovely features. Waving us into this bar, and I'm like, okay. And she's waving us down, waving us down, waving us down. And you have to understand, like, we are naive to this. This is 2002. And I'm from Pittsburgh, and like my buddies are from like North Carolina, Chicago, um, oh boy, middle of Ohio, so on and so forth. And and she says, wait a minute. I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. And I'm like, no, like that is an extremely hot man. and, and you have to remember, this is also back in Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So being gay could get you out of the Navy, which could ruin a lot of things. It's terrible, right? That because you end up what's called an other than honorable discharge, and now you didn't get an honorable discharge, this and that. Like I said, it's 2002. It wasn't right, and you know, glad we're beyond it. But the point being was, it all started to sink in why the shore patrol was telling us don't go down to this side. It was like, wow, this side looks so fun. It's so pretty. They have all these flags out. They have these beautiful women calling you into the bar to, I'm sure there's dancing and this and that. You could hear the music. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh. And then you think about the Navy policy and you're like, oh. So anyhow, we didn't go in. Unfortunately, the pressure at the time was you don't do that. That can be held against you. You could lose your quote unquote career. Even though mine was only 6 years, I didn't want to end up. I just really wanted an honorable discharge that I could put on my resume. So I'm not saying it was the right thing to do. Just at the time, it's what 22-year-old me judged as the practical thing to do. But without a single doubt, there was an absolutely gorgeous, either transsexual or I don't even know the proper term anymore. Cross-dresser. Doesn't seem right. What does one call nowadays? What does one call a man who dresses up like a female drag? But she wasn't like a drag queen. She wasn't like big brassy or anything like. Ah. See, this is why I would like to have guests, so I could mull this over. You're talking to an old head who wants to be up on all the info, but just isn't there. So anyhow, there's another sea story. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night.